Hello everybody, welcome back to another Teemo game, Teemo adventure in the Path of Champions. Going to be playing against Garen today. Should hopefully be another quick run. Teemo deck was one of my favorites just because it was so different than any of the others, and I'm hoping that it's still that way, but they did make some changes to it. It's still mostly the same deck, but it feels like it has a little bit more emphasis on the top end, making sure the deck can play a little bit more of a long game. Ava got -1 cost, which is really nice. Now, we have when you play slow spell, copy it onto the same targets, which would only help with exactly lecturing Yordle's poison darts, so probably not what we want to take. Overall, like, honestly, none of this is that good. I'm going to reroll this. Cards you draw cost 1 less isn't bad. When you damage an enemy, reduce its power by the damage dealt. Really expensive hand for Teemo. Oh, but we could draw a 2-drop. That's not bad.
2, 3, 4.
And it's like the first mission. They don't actually even start with mana, so it's not that big of a deal. But still kind of annoying.
Armed and ready.
We'll add 8 puff caps to the deck. We're most of the way there to getting Teemo flipped. And that's more or less your goal every time with Teemo's deck. It's either that or just stack up puff cap peddlers. Forever. Because we drew
All
that.
right, let's get to work.
We might actually
Needs
take
a
2
finishing
here.
touch.
Actually, no, we don't need to. We can go like this. So those will trade, but we added 3 more cards, then we can actually use Teemo's spell to add 5 more mushrooms. And Teemo flips on turn 2, which is pretty good. And without his power. Okay, so here, I mean, it likely doesn't matter. They're probably going to play something that can block whatever we play. So it's just better to put as many mushrooms into the deck as we can, and then double them with Teemo. So they'll have 50 mushrooms in the deck and be at 4, which means they're likely to die. What would it be? They're likely to die in 2 turns, but they could just die on this turn, depending on how many they draw. 3 was the average.
I sculpt what others only
And
dream
we can
of.
play Ava. Ava adds some mushrooms to the deck
Now
for
that's a
us.
bit better.
Mostly, Ava's just going to be another body, so we don't have to block with Teemo, but it doesn't actually matter that much, to be honest. Like, they have 50 buff caps in their deck, 53 buff caps in their deck. They're going to die this turn, most likely. Yep, they're going to take 14. And that's why Ava is really, really good to have out once you have buff cap thing going. That's more or less the strategy. See, when the Teemo deck was out earlier this year, they hadn't made Ava yet, so Ava wasn't like a thing. We'll take this guy. Drawing a card is actually pretty nice, and I like having more cheap cards. But Ava definitely speeds up the deck. Hey, we can just run the exact same deck. Let's do it. Because I don't really care about having Twisted Fate, and we don't need the Shyvana cards, so... Sure? And I guess actually, no, you know what? I'm going to change... I'm kind of waffling back and forth here. I like that this has cheaper cards. I like that we have pick a card to like shuffle things back and draw things if things are going kind of weird. I think I like Zoe because... What did I take? Enfeebling Strike? You know what? I like Zoe because of Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Both of these, a big appeal of them is just that they can stun something. Specifically for the Ash level, because that's the one I feel like is the big test in this adventure. I'm gonna go with Twisted Fate, because Twisted Fate we could use the red card to shrink everything, which is kind of nice. And the stun deals damage to that unit, so we can shrink Ash, which isn't bad. Enfeebling Strike is one of my favorite powers, because any damage you deal to them lowers their power, and that gets around a lot of weird things in this game mode that can be obnoxious, like big regenerate creatures, for example. I'm going to shuffle all of this back. I don't really want any of it. I don't like this Pool Shark card. It's the sort of card I'd look to cut just because it's actually a really bad 1-drop, but then later you don't necessarily want to be playing 1-drops. But it does at least draw you a card, which isn't nothing. Unfortunately, as you add other cards, you also dilute the kind of mushroom strategy that the game has going on for you. I guess it's like, I'm going to play the 3/2 first, because I would rather them keep the mushrooms in until they have fewer cards in their deck. So I don't really care that they draw a card and there's no chance of drawing a mushroom there. You know, though maybe drawing 1 mushroom isn't really going to matter, where doubling the number of mushrooms later could be very important. So they play a 3/1. It's kind of annoying. I might just, like, if I could trade with it if I play the Peddler, but I don't really want to. I'm just going to shoot it. This thing having a pickaxe is funny. So we'll just get rid of it.
New recruit reporting
I played Kithria, sure. The deck is full of 1/1s. One of the foe's units survives damage, grant it +1/+0. I always have to read these early ones because I don't do them as often. I don't have to repeat them almost ever, and they're not, like, you know, fun to play or whatever in the same way. So it's like not like the Galio runs or whatever, or the Victor runs where I would just do those sometimes back in like old Path of Champions. Here we've added 5 puff caps. Like, I'm just going to attack with Teemo. Give him a 5.
Every work
I
demands
guess I could
a
play
piece
the
of
Peddler and then
ourselves.
maybe attacked with it. Like in this case, it would have attacked just fine into that.
I've heard about
But
you.
just on the off chance that they played something with elusive or like had some sort of trick, I'd rather just. I guess the trick means they wouldn't have.
Ready for deployment.
They would have had that either way. We're probably going to take 2 more damage, but we get to put more shrooms into their deck.
Approaching the battlefront.
And then they make a bunch more
Where's
2
my
power
hammer?
things. Okay. I would like to
Would a
kill
mushroom
that.
help?
I'm not
And one
afraid.
of those.
My work. I gladly serve.
So now Teemo will flip because Ava is helping out, adding 6 shrooms this turn. Amusingly, we can also play another Ava, which actually isn't even a terrible idea here. And we don't
Alright,
really
let's
need
get to work.
to. We don't need our, at this point, our. Like, actually win through combat damage. We can just easily win through mushroom damage. They're going to be at 36, and then I think that every time they draw a.
Where do you stand on
Every time that they
cold
draw a puff
shots?
cap, it's going to be quadrupled. This is how this works, I think, when you have 2 Avas out. No, 42. So we'll see. And of course, somehow, with 13 cards in their deck and 42 puff caps, or 14 cards and 42 puff caps, they didn't draw one. So, I guess, you know, kind of sucks to be us or whatever. Here we'll use Twisted Fate for why we took it.
Deal me in.
I can just stun something. It's
Dead
basically
in their
like
tracks.
creating 2 blockers if you stun something
Who
and
approaches?
add a 2/2, even if the 2/2 isn't that good. So I'll attack with most things. I'm going to Sump Fumes. I guess this one. And then all, like, we actually have to block, and we might have to
Ready
block.
for anything.
I don't know, we can block here,
Shield.
and that will survive. And then we'll throw away
Where
this
you
and
going?
this.
I've always been a
Keep
fun
our Twisted
guy.
Fate. Not that I think it matters too much, to be honest.
0209
Oh, and the Peddler actually added a few puff caps before he died.
My pretties.
Alright. So they have 51 puff caps now. Now let's see, do they quadruple their puff caps? That's the question I want to know. Yes, I think they do. They take 24. Both times winning with Ada's puff cap doubling ability is kind of funny. I want to see how high we can get that number now with these Adas. Like, we're gonna have to do it at some point, right? Just like have like 3 in play or something. When I'm summoned, if one of your traps or boons is activated this round, draw a card. That's not that good. We can add more Sump Fumes. We can add more Chump Wumps. Chump Wumps is the one that creates Mushroom Clouds that put 5 Puff Caps on their deck. Sump Fumes is deal damage to a unit. I think we'd take this because it's more defensive. Like, this deck doesn't actually attack well past the first little bit. I mean, yeah, absolutely, we're going to take an Ada, because Ada's been an all-star so far. Let's do it. So you kind of, the way the Puffcap decks tend to work is you get in some early damage and some chip damage when you can, and then you rely on the Puffcaps to get you the rest of the way there and kind of make tactical chump blocks and all of that to actually survive. This level is actually kind of annoying because they get these things that have Challenger, these feather trackers, whatever they're called. So these things are going to get Challenger when they play a new ally, and there's 3 2s, which is actually kind of big. So they get kind of annoying. Like here, we're going to take 3 damage, probably. We'll play the Conchologist. I don't think I'll take just the 2 mana deal 2. And we'll kill the one that has Challenger. It's technically better. Like, if they don't have another ally somehow, then this would never get Challenger, and we would prefer that. For whatever that's worth. I don't think it's likely, but... Alright, we drew Teemo.
Another day in the field.
They've got another one.
Armed and ready.
Which I guess I should expect from the Fleet Feather Tracker opponent, since they start with 1 and they had 2 of them or whatever, but... I don't know if I want them to draw a card, is the funny thing. Just because I don't really want them to... I think I'm going to pass, actually. Because I want to be able to play Twisted Fate, I think.
I sculpt what others only dream of.
So we're going to stun. That's going to kill this tracker. And they're going to play Kithria. And then we can play one more spell, which is...
Where's my hammer?
To kill whatever they pull, over here, I think. We'll play this Mystic Shot, just save the mana.
My work.
We're probably going to want this Sump Lumps or Sump Fumes for something. Like, since we didn't start out with Teemo, we're like a turn behind where we normally would be, and that's kind of obnoxious. It makes things a little bit more tricky.
Swiftly.
Like, also drawing these stress defenses, like, this card is a really weird combat trick, and it can be useful, but in this case, it's just kind of not. And these things are, I guess they're dealing 3, so that's not actually terrible, but I would prefer if they were dealing full damage just in case we need that, but not how that has played out. Drawing a 4-drop there is kind of annoying. We'll lose 1 mana. I think then we're actually just going to kill this Challenger creature. Again, I need to protect Teemo. We need to actually... We don't have a good win condition here, because our hand is all do-nothing cards. It's a weird combat trick, pick a card, chump wump. Not how we drew it up, really. This thing also has Challenger now. Okay, so we're going to need to save Teemo. We'll play the Chump Wump.
And we yordles in uniform do
The thing
like
doesn't have Challenger right now, so I will... It's like, I could just play these Puffcap things, but... I think I'm going to deal 4 here before it challenges? No, because if we just let it challenge, that's fine.
I'm actually here.
Of course, they had another 1-drop! Oh, we're gonna take so much damage, holy crap. I'm fine with that.
Excuse you.
Pulling there, I think. We'd also stress defense Teemo if we wanted to. Because it's like, they played another one, which is why I waited rather than killing it, so that we could have the ability to actually do something over here. I'll stress defense just to use it. I can't believe we're struggling with this level. That's really awkward. I mean, I guess like this makes sense though. This is like they have all these units that have Challenger, and it's really hard. Like we drew Teemo late, so he hasn't flipped yet, so he hasn't done his job, which is putting all of the mushrooms into their deck. Now we could use these to flip Teemo pretty quickly, right? Which is add 5, and then +3 here. So Teemo will now double 21 mushrooms instead. And Ava has quick attack off of us picking it up off that card selection last round. So they have 42, which will go to 45 cards. And hey, we'll be at basically the same odds as last time when they didn't draw anything. 14 cards, 45 pop caps, and they draw 6. Yeah, that was pretty good actually. And we can make them draw another card here, which probably is what we want to do before they make this attack. Here we go. 8. Woo! Actually, we're pretty low, which is awkward.
A Bandle Scout leaves no trace.
A Bandle Scout leaves no trace. I mean, how? What about all the mushrooms? Are those not like a trace? I guess not. Do I just take it? I love this card because it just lets you heal, but it's like I feel like we have a bunch of do nothing kind of cards anyway in hand, and those are not my favorite. Reduce the cost of allies in your hand and deck by 2. I guess this does kind of work well with this card specifically works well with Twisted Fate, which might come up, so I'll take it. And I like having some healing in the deck and in decks in general. Normally I would go here, but I'm trying not to buy powers this early, just because that's how most people like this early, if they're just getting into it, will play. And so I think I'm going to go over here. I don't mind this. Double Trouble, just summoning 2 blockers is nice. This is also good, summon a Mighty Poro with stun 2 enemies. That's effectively 3 things, but I worry about how expensive the deck starts getting. I'm going to take that one. Like, I don't want my hand to be stuck with, like, a couple Avas and a couple 5-cost spells, and suddenly I just can't do anything on turn 4 or whatever. Tempted to cut that, but, like, also I kind of want to cut, like, I kind of want to cut so many cards. I don't love pick a card, but it's at least 2 mana. I don't love Stress Defense. I think I'm going to cut Stress Defense, finally.
I'll lead the way.
But maybe I shouldn't have, just because it can at least, like, you can use it to block against the Ash deck, because it'll raise the power by 1 for the turn. But I don't know. Ate this. This is like exactly my fear. I guess we could have held the Double Trouble because we could play it turn 2 if we needed to. Which is exactly punished. Punished for exactly what I was just about to talk about. Oh no. Maybe I shouldn't have cut a card. Maybe that was too risky. Oh no. Ugh, we're just not gonna have a play for the first 2 turns. Well, we got a play.
Minding details is my duty.
Okay, we've got something that makes a couple blockers. That's not bad. Alright, we pass. I think this thing gets frostbitten, which sucks, but that's what it is.
Bring me the calm of an
This
ice-shrouded
card.
world.
This card is miserable to play against, especially in this case where it's up 4-5.
There is no shelter.
We'll block
Not
like
much
this. This will at least shrink it, which is nice, so it's only a 2-3. It's like one of our sump whatevers. I always forget the name of that card. The 3-mana card that deals 2, but if you've drawn a card, then it deals 3. Alright, we find Teemo. Oh, we find Teemo, and he's actually kind of a big Teemo.
Faster than my arrow? I think
Now,
not.
hopefully not too little too late, but I'm almost tempted to attack just because it'll lower the power, and everything's going to be smaller anyway.
All
Honestly, I'm going to attack now
You'll
while it
make a
has
fine
power,
totem.
and that'll invalidate this thing. It's not the worst. And then actually, what we can do is that next turn, I'm going to play the Pupcap Peddler just because I want blockers. Next turn, I can actually play the Twisted Fate to deal 1 to everything if we want. Ooh, right, Ash is going to make us not able to block. Like, 2 things getting frostbitten right now is just so...
The frost reveals
This thing needs to die, this stupid 0-1. Like, these can't block anyway. So if we play Twisted Fate, stun her, then she makes one less thing not able to block. But we don't remove these. We do kill this, shrink these, and we'll have one blocker, which is probably Teemo, which sucks. It's like we pretty much have to play Twisted Fate somehow, but it depends on whether we want to stun or we want to deal 1 to everything. By stun, they attack with the 3-1 and the 4-5, and I have 2 blockers, which means that I can block. I can take 3 and go to 6. Yeah, I think that's better.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Because this way they
All
don't
that glitters.
get to Frostbite again.
Leaping into action.
And we can use Twisted Fate to block here.
Sure.
Which I don't hate. Because it'll shrink this, and also, if we draw our second Twisted Fate, that's not bad. I'm going to shuffle in... What is the worst unit here? I guess with all the X ones, this card's actually pretty good, the Lecturing Yordle. Can we put back the Chump one?
There they go.
This will add a few shrooms, but like we kind of just need to find... We need to find things. Like the deal 1 to everything would be really good from Twisted
Ice
Fate.
runs in our veins.
Okay. So I can play Lecturing Yordle.
And wouldn't you know it, I picked the wrong mushrooms.
Ooh, I didn't think about
The
this. I
time
should
is
have
right.
attacked.
Strike now.
We're gonna get frostbitten. Everything's gonna be frostbitten, so we don't get to attack this turn. Like, we don't get to attack this turn very effectively, I should say. We can attack here. This didn't actually didn't get frostbitten.
No backing
So
down.
that kills Ash. And then
They're out there.
I don't know why they didn't target that one, because it would have frostbitten everything else. It's kind of funny. And then I can use this to kill off this stupid Rime Tusk Shaman that's making our life miserable by frostbiting everything all the time. So now we're back to only one thing getting frostbitten each turn. That's actually manageable. We had to lose to the Conchologist, but it's fine. Probably gonna have to block with Teemo.
In the air.
Even more awkward now because Teemo is tiny. Although, if we play Puff Caps off this, we can play, was it like one of these? Because we've added 14. We can actually flip Teemo, and then he has 1 power. It's not bad.
And we Yordles in uniform do like a wump.
Ooh, that's funny. So, not only that, we're gonna get to make this really awkward,
Ooh,
because
quite a collection.
it's gonna get bumped up, +1/+1 when he levels up, which will make this just reset it back to 0 when we're trying to kill Teemo. It's kind of funny. I've never actually had that come up. So I think I just want to play this. I was hoping for like a 1-mana card, but we'll take this Entrapment, I guess. It's not a great spell, but it's a spell.
Warm hearts and hot soup.
And we can block, which is not bad. Oh my god, they had another Shatter. Okay. So we can block everything but like this 2-1 or whatever.
Push on without
Actually.
me.
Okay, so we flipped Teemo, so if we find the other Teemo, that's good. I want to keep this around. I want to keep this around. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. We kind of need to win with Puff Caps, like usual, but like, usually they're not at 14 or whatever when you start saying that. I think that I'm going to wait on playing this, because I kind of need them to... Ooh, that might come up, actually. I kind of need them to
If mushrooms could talk. Oh, am I right?
have a ton of mushrooms in their deck for Ava to double. We can actually get a free attack in with Ava. They have nothing they can trade with it, even if they can Frostbite.
Look out for reavers.
And I don't mind them drawing cards now,
Alert the village.
because it's likely to double. Just like that, in fact.
I will unite
They
the
drew an
realm.
Ash. That's big scary. Okay, how many cards are they going to draw? Or how many puff caps are they going to draw? Oh, that's not enough?
You can see the Nebastian border from here.
Okay. I wish we could make them draw a card somehow. Well, we can draw a card. We can draw 2 cards with burst, basically. We should do that again. Because this is how we can hopefully find a way to slow them down a little bit. We didn't really do that. But we can play a unit. And they're going to be able to... Right now, they can only get through 1 thing, right? Because we have 3 blockers, but they're going to reduce it to 2. They have 4 things. Oh, so they can get through 2 things. We can play something else, and then they can only get through 1 thing. So let's play just this Pool Shark.
Where do you stand on
Doesn't matter if it has...
shots?
Nothing of theirs has Overwhelm, so I don't care about it, you know? I just need to survive. So we'll play this Puff Cat Pup. It's just the next cheapest thing. I mean, okay, I'm just gonna... You know what? We're just gonna end the round. I don't know why they didn't attack. Seems like they should have. I guess they're at 4 and they're worried about that or something. But, you know, you take those with the AIs, like, just not attacking for some reason. I guess they would have lost a bunch of their units and then just died either way. So maybe it was never... I think maybe I was just, like, a little bit too worried about them killing me when it didn't need to be my main concern. Alright. You almost always put an item on Teemo. And in this case, draw me if I'm not in your hand is like the best possible thing you can put on Teemo ever, because you just only want to draw Teemo. Having him on turn 1 is so much better than having him on any other turn. So Raiding Party, when you damage the enemy nexus, grant the top ally in your deck +1/+1. We took that last time. It's a good power. There's a reason I took it. I'm going to take it here again. Okay. So, re-recording. Alright, so we're going to draw the Teemo, so we don't have to have as much concern about things as we did a minute ago. Here, I'm kind of just fine with this hand. We've got a 2-drop, 3-drop, and a 4-drop, and then we've got removal, multiple removal spells. I like it. We're going to play Teemo turn 1. They don't really do anything. Their only 1-drop is there's the 0-3 thing. The units have +0/+1, and I think that has a belt. It's like a 0-6 or something weird, but... I'll play the Puff Cat Pup in case they don't have a play.
You can see the Nebastian border from here.
Okay. I mean, unfortunate. It means that the Pup doesn't get to block, or get to attack, really. Oh, you know what? That's a mistake, actually. I could have... Because I have Enfeebling Strike, that and Quick Attack works really well. This would have become a 1/1 before it hit back.
Warm hearts
So...
and hot soup.
That was a little bit of a mistake by me. So I can use this to shrink something by 3. I'm not mad about that.
How about another round?
Like, I'm fine just blocking here and here, and then I'll deal 3 to that. So this will become a 0/1, and then Teemo will eat it. And then this shrinks to a 1/1, but it's fine. And we got to add 3 puff caps, which is honestly all we are trying to do anyway. Hey, they took 1. Got him. Got him, coach.
I'll scout ahead.
I'm fine with just attacking here.
There's enough
I guess
for
I could, like,
everyone.
play Twisted Fate.
Leave your bags at the door.
Eh. I'm fine just doing this.
Deal me in.
I get to, like, draw a card too, but I'll
Who
play
says
him
I
just
don't
because it gets
care?
rid of something.
Light
It
the
deals damage to their
signal
Nexus, which is +1/+1 somewhere. Oh, which I forgot about. This is a 5/5. But when we hit with the Shroom, it adds +1/+1 to something. So, like, this Conchologist is a 6/5 right now. That's gigantic, obviously. And it adds a card to our hand, which is nice. Opponent discards the lowest cost card. Okay, fine with that, I guess.
Astounding curiosity.
We'd also
spy
taken the
ahead.
+2/+0 and impact card, which wouldn't have been terrible, but let's see. So they're going to attack. As of right now, we can't actually block this. We could block the 6/5 to the 3/4. Guess we could also just play the pool shark. I don't really care about that. Sure, just toss the pool shark in.
Go on then.
Watch the ball,
And then make them
folks.
discard the lowest cost card. At this point, that should be fairly expensive. There's an Avarosa marksman, so a 3-drop. That's not bad. Just because they didn't make early plays really. Now we drew a Puffcat Peddler. Too bad. Do we want to attack now? The only thing will happen is we'll take 1 if we attack now.
They'll
Fine with
never
that.
know what hit 'em.
And because of Enfeebling Strike, I'm pretty fine with just like chump attacks. This is weird to me. This is really weird to me. Like, this is the one that should have blocked something that could survive. It's fine.
More mushrooms.
Yeah, I couldn't have quite triggered it. I could have if I played the, I guess I could have if I played Clump of Lumps.
Beyond the flesh.
Oh well.
Shh. There it is.
Deal 1 to Twisted Fate. Oh, that's funny. I can heal Twisted Fate. Let's keep Twisted Fate around. Maybe we'll even level up Twisted Fate one of these days. Pass.
Gotcha.
Didn't get me. Ha! Take that, nerd.
Have a mushroom.
Then we'll play our
Have
Puffcat Peddler.
3.
I've heard about you.
Just to start getting some Puffcaps in their deck. We're playing like a very defensive Puffcap now, because that's kind of where we're at. So we can play Ava. How close is TF to flipping, actually? 3 cards? I guess, like, we could use the pick a card to get there. And also just make 2 blockers, which isn't terrible. Because then we'll be able to block everything they do, and have removal in hand.
We'll take what
This
we
thing can
need
block,
to
right?
survive.
Sure. Okay. The only goal is to not have to block with... Well, no, we can even block here with Teemo. That's fine. So will he level if we play this thing? I think he will. We'll shuffle back. We'll shuffle back this Veteran Investigator. We don't need that
Stacking
yet.
the odds.
And then we'll pass. They generally don't like to attack into ephemeral things because it feels like they're, to them, I guess, like they're trading resources or something. And they don't need to. So, Twisted Plate
Now
flipped,
this game's
which
heating
is
up.
very good for us. Twisted Fate flipping is actually just very strong. So when you play these Destiny cards, you just start casting the cards in the order off the top of your deck. So like, for example, we're going to shuffle back this Guiding Touch. We don't need it. We'll cast
Shuffle.
Blue, which draws us a card and gains us a mana. We can deal a 1 to everything if we want, but I'll wait. I don't need to do that right now. We can make decisions after we draw. So we draw a card. It's the Veteran Investigator. We can play Ava now,
Battle Scouts recruit Ava.
which will deal 1 to everything
Another day.
and shrink them, and also add some
All
puff caps.
destiny ends bleached
And then
white.
if we play another unit, we will actually stun their strongest unit. So let's use this to deal 4. If I do that, what's going to end up stunned? That's going to be stunned. Okay. I like the eye thing when it works. It's like here, now that 5/2 will be stunned and we don't have to worry about it.
Hold it, partner.
This will be a fine story.
Technically,
My cat.
I could make some
Deep breath now.
attacks, but I don't want this thing to trigger. We're going to win no matter what, so I'm like
Isn't the only
kind
danger.
of inclined to just play a slow and steady game. Oh, definitely should have attacked with Teemo though. I totally forgot he was there. Damn it. I just like was so caught up in all the Twisted Fate and Ava stuff that's going on that I didn't even think about it. It's okay. We'll win. I mean, we're gonna start dealing huge chunks to them, but
Let the flames take you.
especially if we play Veteran Investigator, so I'm gonna replace this random 1-drop. And they'll take 12 from Ava, so there we go.
We did it together.
I'm a fan. Ava is a really good addition to this deck. Like, it's impressive. Just because this deck did have some struggles with actually like closing out a game, and Ava just speeds up the clock so much. I'm going to take this. +1/+1 is actually the item that this card gets when you level up. I looked ahead a little bit, and I'm a huge fan. We'll do Targon's Brace on Teemo. We don't need Teemo to hit harder, and him regenerating is kind of irrelevant. Nothing really here that I want. So we'll just leave. We'll go for the champion item, get another thing for Teemo probably. Because the funny thing about Teemo is that drawing multiple copies is even good, because his spell just cuts the turn down to flip Teemo, which is when he starts really going off. So I'm going to shuffle this back because I don't want to... We're going to draw it for free, so we might as well take the free card. I'm also going to... I kind of want to shuffle this card back just because I don't like it, and I'd rather draw something better, frankly. So this round, and the foe's units heal for 1. Would love goulash, thank you, I'm hungry. So we'll play our free Teemo. Not free, but our freely drawn Teemo. Ooh, this is 2/2. Oh, because it just has a studded letter. Alright, it's kind of annoying. Because if they play like another creature, then we just can't block it, really. We'll take 2. It's obnoxious, to be sure. And this thing's a 1/6 because of the Ovidhawk. Ugh. Obnoxious. Well, so what's funny is now I don't want to block this, but... I'll just play the Conchologist. Honestly, it's kind of tough, because Ebb represents multiple plays, but next Warning Shot is a free spell for Puffcat Peddler next turn, which I don't mind. I think I'll do that. We'll take our 2, or take our 1. And pass, and then we're going to play the Puffcat Peddler probably, and then Warning Shot. The only way that I wouldn't, I think, is if I drew a Teemo. I guess I'll just have to take 1. I'm going to take 1 either way, so might as well. Okay, so that's not going to...
Gotcha.
It's not going to kill Teemo, which is exactly why Spell Shield is the card on here, but... Unfortunately, I could attack in, but it just trades there.
Runaway bike.
Maybe we just have to do that. I just would rather not get attacked by the 4/2, I guess. Like, if we have to take 1 because they attack right away, that's fine. It's kind of annoying. This is too bad because we have multiple Chump Wumps in hand, and, like, Chump Wump Puffcat Peddler is very classic mushroom combo, or Puffcat combo in this deck. Oh, hey, there we go. We don't have to make decisions. I love not having to make decisions. We'll just play the Puffcat Peddler. They attack. I'll block here. We'll take our 1. Apparently this is just a 1/6 unblockable against us, because I'm certainly never going to block it. Unless it just dies. Or if there's another option ahead of it. Like, that's just more relevant, you know? This Chump Wump is a 6/6. How many more Puffcaps do we need? Okay, so, like, basically none. But I'm still going to play both of them. So we put as many Puffcaps into the deck as we can before we hit, and then just attack like that. I don't think it matters too much which one got the +1/+1, to be honest. Either way, the Elk was blocking the Puffcat Peddler and trading. But they now have 50 Shrooms in their deck. Does not tend to mean that they're going to live long.
Come on in.
They did heal, though. It's kind of annoying. Honestly, I'm just going to play the Chump Wump. Probably just want to heal at some point here. Just heal myself. It doesn't really matter what they're doing at this point. We can just block with these. It's unlikely they have anything for 2 that will be that relevant, but we'll find out. And then this turn, we go Mushroom. They're at 55 Puffcaps. How greedy do I want to be? I kind of want to hit with this before, because I'm greedy, honestly. So, attack here. And then I'll put that there. This will then be bigger than their biggest creature, is the big consideration there. So they're just all chump blocks, essentially, except for this, which will survive, but it won't have much power. But this adds 3 puff caps before Teemo doubles it, so they'll have 116 puff caps.
The Elk of Bones
I
summons
don't
me.
think that it's going to matter too much what's going on, but we can both draw a card. How about that? They drew 6, which honestly felt like it might have been low. I think the average is like almost 10 right now. 8, so they still were a little bit low. That's funny. Alright, we're crushing them. That Ash level actually was very difficult. Like it was very close, all things considered. But the runs after don't tend to be that difficult. Like Ash is the real boss of this level. And if you don't have +1/+1 and you don't have summon or destroyed, summon a follower with my cost from your regions. It's actually really good. Because this means that playing this now gives us a unit. Yeah, I'm gonna take this. Hexcore Foundry, round start, all players draw 1. We're basically just like one of the levels here, Hexcore Foundry. I start a free attack on Teemo is busted. Because now the clock is even more sped up. What do I want to cut? The Pool Shark just being a body has actually come up, weirdly. The Veteran Investigator might be the call now, because we don't really need to make everybody draw 1 more. Everybody's going to be drawing 2 cards a turn, so that's really all we need. Also, the Hexcore Foundry does mean that flipping Twisted Fate is actually easier. I'm going to shuffle these 2 back. I'll keep Ada because I know that we want her eventually, most likely, and Pupcap Pup is just a good card. But we get to add 10 mushrooms on the first turn. Honestly, if I could always get like those 2 items, free attack, and you draw them no matter what in your opening hand, I would with Teemo. I could just put if those were the relics I could put on Teemo, I would do it. Absolutely. It's like they're gonna challenge, which is annoying. Most likely they're gonna challenge. I don't think we actually have a way to stop that either. But we'll just have to draw another Teemo later. What's their power this round? The foe has the attack token, grant the foe's units +1/+0.
I sculpt what others only dream of.
So I'll play the Puffcat Peddler. I think they'll try... Okay, I mean... I guess I'll just block like this even. We might as well just get more Puffcaps in there. That's a really weird... I don't know why they didn't use the Challenger to kill Teemo. Or at all. I mean, they could have killed the Puffcat Pup, but no, they can't. Excuse me, they can't block with it. Attack first with, even though we don't get the support, because we've put 13 Puffcaps in, we want this to deal damage first. Then this flips, so instead of putting 5 Puffcaps in their deck, we put... What was that? 14, so now they have 28. I think I'll play the Hexcore Foundry now. We got a Puffcat Peddler. Bless. What were the odds? I mean, I guess it's not that low, but, you know, there are multiple other 3-drop units.
Our ancestors are watching.
What is it, Bilgewater? No, Bilgewater in, Bilgewater, Bandle City, and... Gosh, I can't think of it. Piltover and Zon, that's what. So now we do kind of want to keep Teemo alive, so I'm going to pass. They're still not going to use the Challenger unit for some reason. At which point I don't really have to care. Like, I'll kill that. I'll kill that. Actually, let's just trade there, because I don't want to have to keep thinking about this if they're never going to actually challenge for some reason. I don't know why they're not. Like, they're certainly capable of it. But, whatever. We'll keep the Puffcat Peddler alive to add more Puffcaps to get doubled from Teemo. Only 2. Disappointing. 4 is more what I'm feeling. I'll play Ava first.
Ready to learn.
For king and country.
Ooh.
Swiftly.
This can attack with Teemo. They'll block with something, which is fine. But
Size doesn't mean everything.
alright, they have 58 Puffcaps in their deck, which is about to go up to 61, and then Ava doubles them and they draw 2 cards. So we should kill them this turn, but weirder things have happened. There has to actually be a puff cap on cards. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Let's see what our second... No! I wanted to see what the second draw was. I wanted to see how much... How many shrooms.
Scout leaves no trace.
Oh well. Anyway, that's this deck, and that is probably the best setup you can get with Teemo. So, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we'll unlock Teemo's third power soon. Well, I don't know if I'll play Teemo again, but at some point soon I will. So, have a good night. Bye.